Alright, so I'm headed out to TooManyGames, and there's really one main game I want to find, and that is Buddy Mission Bond. Now, Buddy Mission Bond, for those who don't know, is a first-party Nintendo Switch game that came out in Japan only in 2021. It's basically a visual novel with some occasional 3D, stealth gameplay elements thrown in there. It honestly doesn't look fabulous, but my entire goal for the Switch is to have every single Nintendo-published Switch game, and I mean, I have DC Superheroes, because why the hell not? So that's what we're looking for here. And honestly, if I were to find it anywhere, I really think it would be here, and if not, I'm headed to Nintendo New York, so we can always check over there. And this, video is gonna double as sort of a vlog for the TooManyGames and the Nintendo New York store, so Josie Woe takes on East Coast. Let's get into it. After we landed from the plane, we had like a 5-hour bus ride, and someone airdropped me the absolute meanest shit I've ever seen in my life, but we eventually made it to the hotel. We were smart and got to the hotel a day in advance to sleep off any jet lag, and since our flight there was like through the night, we really freaking needed it because we just slept that entire day. Next thing I knew, it was day 1 of TooManyGames, and today's goals include finding a ride to TooManyGames, getting Buddy Mission Bond, and getting drunk with the other YouTubers present, and the whole Spawncast people are, obviously. Oh, and also, of course, the Spawncast panel. RGT got in super early, and I was able to link up with him and Rax and drive over to the convention. So check 1 is done, but now we needed to meet up with the rest of everyone before our panel in a couple of hours. I was able to link up with John, Ryan, and Evan, and the 3 of us just sort of mobbed around TooManyGames and checked shit out. It was very cool. At some point during that day, I found time to sort of get away and really start hunting for Buddy Mission Bond because I had been looking for it casually, like while I'm walking around with Evan, John, and, Ryan and Sean. But I needed to really go in depth and find this game, and this is how it went. Hello everybody, so today we're looking for Buddy Mission Bond. I have not been able to find it anywhere. I've looked here, I've looked there. This one has a lot of promise.
11 minutes later.
Look at all those games. No, none of them got Buddy Mission Bond over there. We struck out, yet again. We have not found a single place that does have it, but I'm holding out hope. As you can see, there was pretty much no luck trying to find Buddy Mission Bond, but I just had to ignore it and zoom to the Spawncast panel right away because we had a show to put on for the homies, and thank you so much if you attended that. I really appreciate it, and it was a banger, so here are some of my favorite moments.
Well, didn't you take like a 4-hour bus?
I did. I took a 4-hour bus from the airport. It wasn't too crazy, but I got to see the Philly subway. That was a sight.
Is it?
Yeah.
My name is Demeech, and I had a question about retro gaming for Josie. How do you get into retro gaming, and do you find any systems to get hard into? Like this guy right here cannot get into NES.
I can't get into N64 because I feel, which I am so sorry. I'd like to apologize. It's just the 3D mechanics, I grew up with the Wii.
Wait. Are you...
So translating over is kind of brutal.
You're playing on NSO, right?
Yeah.
So you're not... Do you have the N64 controller?
No.
I feel like that would make an impact.
Okay.
We should try to find you one of those NSO N64 controllers.
I think they're like $200.
Somebody here probably has one.
Yeah.
Selling it on the floor.
Yeah. John, buy it for.
What? Josie's looking for something, and we're trying to figure this out. So after this panel, everyone can...
Yeah, if anyone has Buddy
She's going to have to say it like
Bond,
4 times, because I don't even know what it is.
It's called Buddy Mission Bond. It's like a Nintendo-published Japan exclusive
No one heard
game.
you just now. You gotta say it again. Say it again.
Buddy Mission Bond. It's a Japan-exclusive Nintendo game.
Are you sure you didn't make this up?
No, I promise. It's online. You can look it up. It's very cool. I'd like to get it. It's like a Japan-exclusive little port. So if anyone has it, send it my way.
You did check the booth with all the imports?
I checked over there. They just had a bunch of hentai games, so.
Hey, Spawncast, just wanted to ask if you guys have a guilty pleasure game.
I play a lot of Fortnite, and I feel like people laugh at me about it, but it's very fun, especially if you play with other people. So that's a big guilty pleasure game for me.
It's like the social game.
Yeah, no, it's really fun.
Also, this was bizarre, but right after the panel, somebody goes up to John and hands them $100. They were like, here's an IRL dono, right? Which is super funny. But he tells John to use that $100 to buy me an N64 controller. Because as you saw, we talked about how I've never used an N64 controller and whatever, and how, maybe that could help my disdain for a lot of N64 games. So we go on the hunt for this, and it was the most bizarre thing to ever happen, but we are looking from booth to booth with absolutely no luck, and then eventually we get to one, and I look at RGT and I was like, I've got a good feeling about this one. And I was kidding. I was being sarcastic. I really didn't think we were going to find this, because we're not just looking for an N64 controller. We are looking for a Nintendo Switch Online N64 controller. You can really only get those online and when Nintendo decides to have them in stock, which isn't often. And so we went to this freaking thing. I jokingly said I had a good feeling about it, and I look up and there it is, an NSO N64 controller. John has $100. He was given $100 from this guy, and obviously you don't want to pay more than that for this thing. So we give the controller to the vendor guy, and he's like, "Oh yeah, sure, $100," and John hands him the $100 bill, and here I am with it. So I'll show you guys right now, actually. Bang! It's right in here. This is a cool bag that we got as well. The moment of truth, everybody. Bang! I think it's sideways. Bang! Shout out John. Shout out John. We're going to have to do a whole N64 themed stream at some point where I really check out this controller and dive into it. I also have a YouTube short up pretty soon about me checking out an N64 controller for the first time. It's pretty cool. I'm really grateful, so thank you guys. So after all of that, we headed to the hotel room, and we were all very tired, but, as YouTubers do, they were all going to go get dinner together, and I, was flattered to be included in this whole thing, so I went with them. RGT was so sleepy, so he took a little nap at home, or at the hotel, and didn't go with us, but went to this place. It was really good. I ordered a cocktail. I felt really bougie and fancy, and there, we hung out and had dinner with Bob and Wood and Hannah and Fried Biscuits. That whole crew, I guess, pretty much them, which is funny about the whole, I don't know if you guys know, but the Game & Talk Nintendo beef, which was settled, gladly, but yeah, so we did that, very fun. Then we come back, and we have just a banger time, because we headed back to the hotel to party it up, and RGT was already super drunk by the time we got here, so he gave me and my boyfriend just so much money to go buy drinks, and it was fantastic. I just drank and talked to people and vibed. Maybe I networked. I don't know if you consider networking just drinking casually with other, I guess maybe that is what networking is. I'm very new to the whole adult world, so I don't really know, but I think so. In high school, we just used to call those parties, but I think it's a bit different when you're older. There, I also played on a fight stick that's a controller. It wasn't a fight stick, it was I don't know, Bob made it. It's a platforming thing where you control it with keys. It's just using WASD and a keyboard to control Mario, and we played Mario Wonder with that, and it was actually super cool. Also, that entire time, RGT decided to stream, which is insane, because obviously, I don't know, I feel drunk RGT on stream seems like a bad idea, but it went pretty well, actually, and it's a super funny stream, and a lot of the footage you're seeing now was pulled straight from that stream. But now we were on to day 2 of the convention, and today's goals are to work out, to find Buddy Mission Bond, and to do the Spawncast signing. And at this time, I was also supposed to go on the Nintendo podcast, because RGT during the Spawncast, literally during the panel, looks at me and he's like, "You want to go on the Nintendo podcast?" And I was like, "No, I don't think so." And then he was like, "Come on, it'd be really funny to milk the drama." And I was like, "All right, I guess so." And listen, I'm a fan of the show and shit, so it was cool. But so that's pretty much on the docket for today. But we are finding Buddy Mission Bond. First, though, we worked out, and of course I worked out with Spawn Wave and surprise guest beat 'em ups. That was fun. We did some abs. That was a good time. And chest, and I got them to do legs with me, which is a good time. Now, getting into Buddy Mission Bond, I zoomed through every single store for about an hour before the convention even opened. And I'm going stand to stand, asking these people, "Hey, do you have Buddy Mission Bond? Hey, do you have Buddy Mission Bond?" No one in the world has Buddy Mission Bond. Everyone says, okay, the one place to have Buddy Mission Bond is New York, is Video Games New York, right? And you know what they have? Nothing but a bunch of hentai games, okay? I go for the second time just to double check, and again, they don't have anything. I talked to the guy, he says, "No, we haven't had that in stock in a year, and we really only ever got 2 of them." So at this point, I've pretty much given up hope, unless somebody just random has it. So, I put it out there at the Spawncast panel that if anyone has it, to come talk to me. We'll talk about it. I just want to see that baddie. But I had to zoom to the Nintendo podcast panel thing, and that was cool, very fun. And then I zoom after that to the Spawncast signing, and that was awesome. I mean, there was like a line the entire time, and to be honest, guys, I didn't realize that much of you guys like, I don't know, like cared enough to show up, which I like super appreciate that you did, but it was just sort of shocking because you see the numbers online, but you don't really equate it to like actual people. And so seeing all you guys in real life, like signing autographs or whatever, and like taking pictures with you guys was actually super awesome. When we're doing the meet and greet, somebody gives me this. How kind of them. Kaze. He said it's like, it's a lot like Donkey Kong, so I'm really excited to check that out. And then somebody also gave me a box copy of Namco Museum on the Game Boy Advanced. On top of that, I was just running into a lot of random people, too, so, like, I'd see some creators I know. I ran into Fevlam and Sunny. That was cool. And then, you know, you're just kind of, like, seeing a bunch of other people that whole time, so it was really fun, very, very exhausting. But we ended up doing that signing for, like, 2.5 hours. Then before that, we did, some other YouTuber guy asked us to do, like, an interview thingy with him, so we did that for a second as well. Yeah, I mean, it was interesting. It was all interesting. It was really, really exhausting. But we didn't accomplish Buddy Mission Bond. We did accomplish a Nintendo podcast panel and the signing. And after that, we were exhausted. So we ran and went and got Moe's. And that was really good. Also, I didn't know that they were supposed to be like, welcome to Moe's. Because we didn't get one of those. And RGT was throwing a fit about it. But then eventually, like, everyone else started getting them. Except for us. So it was really funny. But that place was pretty good. Kind of like a Chipotle, you know. So then we're going back to the hotel, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe this is a lost cause to find Buddy Mission Bond at here, you know, because like, what am I supposed to? I can't find it anywhere. So I go on PlayAsia, and it is $50, down from the usual 90 or like 80, I think. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna snag this game right here, right now. I get all the way to the checkout screen, and I am in the PayPal checkout, confirming shit. I hit place order. It refreshes and it says, error, somebody has already purchased this. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? In the 2 seconds it took me to press confirm, somebody already bought the game. So at this point, also, online is out the window. We have to find this game here. We do, chat, because there's no other option other than paying $90 online and waiting for 7 months. And I don't want to do that. But let me calm down. Because obviously, after that, we still have to go to the hotel and mingle with people and network, or not even, just party it up, right? So we go back and, you know, we networked and we met a lot of people. And there's these guys from this podcast, the Nintendo podcast called Punching Up. I think they'd be great to do a collab sort of with on Game & Talk, so we might do that eventually. If you don't know, I also do a Nintendo podcast called Game & Talk. Go subscribe to that channel, check it out, it's a banger. But with all that said, I go to sleep, and it's on to day 3. Day 3 is the last day of Too Many Games, and at this point, there was one thing I really wanted and was looking nearly impossible to do. But with a bit of last-minute hope, I searched everywhere yet again for Buddy Mission Bond. And of course, it was nowhere to be found. Nowhere. I asked everybody, I searched every single booth, I had no idea what was, like, going wrong with this thing, but I didn't end up finding it, but I did find something pretty cool as well. So, a little game called Bayonetta Origins came out a little bit ago at this point, and I was never going to get the game. It's not because it's a bad game, but it's because $60 for this isn't worth it. But I found this baddie for $30. So I was like, hell effing yeah. So I did end up getting it. I'm excited to check it out, excited to add it to the collection if nothing else. I love the art style of this. The gameplay is just really not for me. But, you know, I'm excited to have it, glad to add that one to the collection, because it's like one of the few first-party Nintendo games that I still do not have. Now, that same booth, I was really excited because, hey, we have Japanese games, we have a lot of different, you know, I know, seen a lot of stuff, and I'm looking hard and looking harder and making sure that, you know, I'm searching every aspect of this booth, and yet again, there is zero Buddy Mission Bond. So, after losing all that hope and everybody like having to go and whatever, say goodbye to RGT and all those people, I ended up going back to the hotel empty-handed. All of Too Many Games, I did not find Buddy Mission Bond. But I'm going to the Nintendo New York store. So, day 4, I wake up eager, ready to go. We take a bus from Philly to New York, and that's a whole experience in of itself, but we eventually get to New York, And the first thing I tell my friends, we all sit down at this cafe. We're talking to each other. I haven't seen and I go there really just to visit my one friend. She's like one of my oldest, closest friends. And she lives out there. And so I'm talking to her and she's like, hey, what do you guys want to do? And I was like, I want to do 2 things. I want to go to Nintendo NY, because I have to look for Buddy Mission Bond still. And for when the inevitable part that I don't find Buddy Mission Bond, I want to go to bars and get drunk and ride the subway. That's it. That's all I want to do. And we go to Nintendo New York. This place was awesome. It was so fun. It was so pretty. I wasn't expecting there to be like all of this whole like museum thing upstairs with every console Nintendo's ever done. It even had like the Hanafuda, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but those original playing cards that they used to make in like 1890. It was awesome. And I had my friends with me who didn't know anything about video games, so I'm sitting there like telling them all about it, and it was really fun. And the merch and stuff that they have there is really, really cool. Unfortunately, I don't have that much room in my suitcase, so I couldn't grab too many things. But I do find some really cool shit. They have a wall of amiibo. And now listen, the boxes are in horrific shape, but they survived a very long flight. I mean, yeah, the box is not ideal. But, like, the fact that it survived such a long flight all the way from New York to California, I feel like it's pretty impressive. We've got Pitt over here as well. I mean, I think I'm just going to have to unbox them. So stay tuned. I'll do that at the end of the episode. But there's a lot of excitement there with Luigi's Mansion as well. And so I go over to check out the games, hoping to God that they have, obviously, Buddy Mission Bond. Because if you're going to find these games anywhere, it's going to be at Nintendo New York. The issue is there's no English translation to it. It's only Japanese. And so because of that, it's not there. But what was there was Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. I paid $60 for it. I know, it's egregious, but I'm going to stream it, I think, and I've never played it, so I do want to check it out. I got quite a few games as this whole thing came to a close, and as a whole it was very fun, but we didn't accomplish our one mission, so I've ordered it on PlayAsia. How much was it? Too much. I'm going to be real with you guys. Would I have been really happy had I gotten it here? Yes, obviously. Obviously, chat. I don't want to be that person who has to order these games off of PlayAsia and wait months and months for them and overpay for these games. But honestly, thinking about it, had I even found a single one at TooManyGames, since it would be the one there, it probably would have been like $100 or so and way more than it's worth. But I did promise you guys one thing, and that was that we'd open these amiibo. So let's do it. I'm not one to ever open amiibo. If you look over here on my shelf, this one is never being open. I have a lot, I have quite a few amiibo, and none of them are open. But these boxes are pitiful, and honestly, I think these guys would be worth more outside the box. Now, you might be wondering, why did I get Pit? Why did I get Little Mac? Little Mac is my main in Smash, a lot of times, and so I figured I might as well. This really physically hurts me. I hate doing this so much. Now, I was really excited when I saw these, because I haven't seen these types of amiibo in stock in forever. And it's just very exciting. So here he is. Focus. There's our boy. He's killing it. I don't have a lot of room on my shelf, so I think it'll do better if they're open as well. Spatially. It's just sad. I like the packaging of Amiibo quite a bit. Here it is. Fucked up box. I mean, so the thing is we're not even just driving or just going to the airport. We had to Uber to jump on a bus to go back to Philly to catch F-plane out of Philly. And so there was just a lot of movement there, and we ended up having to check our bags too, and I think that was probably a big problem with that. I'm just happy that I found them to begin with, and I'm not going to sell them, obviously. So it's fine with me. And Pitt was my main in Smash 4, and he's sort of my main now. Not as much, but in a way. So I was really happy to get him as well. I haven't seen these Amiibo in stock anywhere, and the fact that they were at the Nintendo New York store was awesome. The guy who checked me out there, he was a really cool guy, and he had gone to TooManyGames. So that was fun. I just talked to him about that, and we had a good little chat. But yeah, Buddy Mission Bond has been ordered from PlayAsia. I'll probably get it sometime soon. I'll do an unboxing. I'll do a review once I finally beat it. It's defeating we couldn't find the rarest Switch game in North America, I guess, at this game, at this convention. I thought if it was going to be anywhere, it would be here. But I get it, you know? I get it. There's no actual English translation, and I swear to God, Nintendo, I'm going to buy this, and you're going to drop it, and you're going to bring it to... If you bring this thing over to the States now, to even just PAL, you have like a translation of it, that's going to make everything really, really bad for me. But that's all of Too Many Games. That's my Too Many Games recap / Too Many Games little vlog / little, you know, summary of the whole event, and my sad, sad adventure of never finding Buddy Mission Bond. If you liked the video, drop it a like, subscribe down below, check out this video, it's a banger, it's a vibe, it's a good time. Check out my podcast, Game and Talk, it's a banger. I do it with RGT, Celia, B, and Nate the Hate. So we've got the early scoop on things occasionally, and I appreciate it, you guys. Setting all this up to record this video was brutal.